Good morning, everyone. Oh, this is yours truly, Mr. O. It's an honor to come your way once again. How is your week going? My, it's a little cloudy, but it's okay. It's part of life. In the anatomy of breakthrough, Adam Alter, one of the people we listen to or I read his books, he's a professor, actually, in University of New York. He said something. He said, in every success story, there is a season of excuse me, sorry. I was doing something. In every success story, there is a story of a time where the person gets stuck. Being able to unstuck yourself, declutter yourself, and entangle yourself and move ahead is a skill. All right. In most inspiring success stories, there comes a time of struggle where a lot of people do not see, a lot of people do not experience, but they only see the end result and they think it all came just into existence. You see this AMG right in front of me, very powerful machine. To acquire this machine, it doesn't come off just like that. It takes a lot of calculations. It takes a lot of times where you have to forgo a lot of things because these machines are expensive, right? But when we see it, we only see the end product. We don't see the period where the person had to sacrifice and to unstuck himself from a lot of things. So I believe most of us think that coming to America, coming to Canada, UK will solve every problem that we ever had. And sometimes when they come or they travel to some of these places and the reality hits them, then they think, oh, they didn't tell me the truth. I've had a lot of teachers tell me that, Mr. O, you didn't tell me the truth. You didn't tell us the reality. And I said, well, I told you the reality from my perspective. It is for you to also experience it from your perspective. For every success story, for everything you see me do, sometimes you think it's smooth. No, there was a time where I feel like going back to my home country. There was a time where I feel like leaving the job all of a sudden. There was a time that you want to hit these children as you used to. Francis, good morning. But you cannot. All right? You cannot. Because that is not how it is done. And I see some of these indigenes here who are teachers, and I said, how do you get your class so quiet? How do you get through the day like this? He said, well, it didn't take me just a day. It took me a lot of days, a lot of sacrifices. I had to forgo a lot of things. I have to work on myself. Sometimes I have to go for therapy in order to be able to manage my own anger and the anger of those kids. So it takes a lot. And one thing they always tell you, that don't make a permanent decision in a temporary situation. Ellen, do not make a permanent decision in a temporary situation. He said, look, this that you see, they'll leave. After one semester, these children will leave you. So just take it that is a passing page. At the end of the day, when the wind blows over, you get a fresh batch of kids. Then you can model them in another way. Douglas. And I said, wow, that is powerful. So do not make a permanent decision in a temporary situation, because what I was going through, what I was feeling at that time was temporal. But you see, we as people are not wired, are not trained to endure. So a little discomfort, we want to give up. A little discomfort, we want to quit. We want the best. That is humans. I mean, that's general every human. Nobody wants the pain, but we all want the success stories. We all want to be on the news. But what it takes to be on the news, you have no idea. So I was watching the news the other day and I saw this man well suited with his tie, looking beautiful. And I said, wow, this man is looking sharp. And the camera panned and we saw what he was wearing. He was wearing some track suits or whatever they call it. For those, the one they use for morning training. But when you see the suit from the top with the tie, he looks perfect on screen. And the ladies who were also doing the interview, one of them was wearing some skinny stretch. And I said, but they were dressed from the top up. And that is all we all see. You see, most of the time we only see the top part of it. And the newscasters we see on the TV, sometimes they are not fully dressed as they are supposed to. Sometimes they only dress them from the top up because they must be on the screen and they are sitting by the table, so we don't see their legs or anything. You know, we only see half of the story. And it takes a lot of sacrifice to be successful in American classroom. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of unlearning and learning. And I use myself as an experience, as an example all the time. I use my experience as an example. Okay? So don't look at only the top and think that, oh, he just got it. He got it all sorted. No, I don't have it all sorted out. I struggle sometimes in the classroom. I still have that challenges, you know, because you must make the connection with your students. You must be able to connect with them as much as possible. Make sure the content you are delivering is accepted. It's just like preaching a sermon. They must accept the sermon and be convicted before they will accept Christ. Is that not it? Yeah. It takes a lot to get there. It takes a lot to get there. Over the weekend, I had a conversation with a gentleman who has also been here for a long time. And in fact, from afar, sometimes we see some of them, we say, hey, these people, they got it all wrapped up. And he made a statement, which I was so humbled by. He made a statement. I was so humbled. I said, wow. He said, look, I and this gentleman will look up to you. And I said, what? You look up to me? He said, yeah. He said, we look up to you. The way we respect you, the way we see you. And I said, wow, you see me like that? They said, yeah. That is how high we place you. And I said, I was so humbled. I was so quiet. And I had to just recall myself and I said, hey, come back to normal. Because for such a person that you, from afar, you think they have also gotten it all wrapped up, for him to make such a statement as you have been our role model. And I said, really? Me, role model? He said, yes. I said, well, I'm just doing my best. I'm just doing my best. A lot of people will not see the pain, the beatings, the wounds that you have on your skin, but they only see the glory and the story and the crown, forgetting that before the crown, there was some crying that has to go on behind the scenes. You understand? The thorns behind the crown, they don't see it. They only see and hear and experience the glory as it comes. So this morning, as you are applying, as you are preparing for your interviews, remember, it is not easy as you are coming. Make sure your mind is made up. Make sure you are well ready for the job and the task ahead, because it's not going to be that straightforward for you. All right? You're not just going to walk into a well-prepared classroom, a well-ready students who are ready to listen to you. They don't want to listen to you. No. They don't want to listen to you. I have students who join my class and they tell me, Mr. Oh, I'm in the shop. I'm going to call you back. Yes, they join online and they'll tell you they are in the shop. So all that you are saying, you think you are teaching, you are doing whatever, they don't care. And it can be sometimes frustrating. It can be sometimes frustrating. But it is your responsibility as a teacher to make sure you deliver, irrespective of what is happening. I've said it over and over again that the job is not for the weak-hearted. All right? It is not for those who are whose heart are weak. So far, we know some teachers have gone back to Ghana. Yeah. Some have gone back to Ghana already. Yesterday, I heard a news that I was sad about, that some of them will not be renewed. Yeah, I heard that news. Some teachers will not get renewed. You know, I told you, it is not once a teacher, always a teacher. Your contract can be terminated as and when the principal wishes. He has the power to hire and fire. So don't think just by entering America, you are a teacher forever. No, you can lose your job tomorrow. You can lose it the next day. You can lose it the next semester. Some people have lost their job this particular semester. Yeah, some are going to lose it when the first 3 years is done. And that is just a caution to those who are coming and to those who are here. When we tell them, they think we are being, as in our local parlance, too known. You understand? But it takes a lot to maintain yourself day by day. The fight is a daily fight. It's not even a semester fight. It's a daily fight that you have to make sure that you maintain status. But as much as possible, it is for a season, you know? It is for a season. A time will come, you may not be in that classroom anymore. You can choose to be there. All right? When things change, when status change, then you can decide, oh, I want to try this a little bit. I also want to open my own shop. I also want to start my own business. Then you can progress from there. But until that time, you have to maintain status. Where are you going, gentlemen? You have to make sure that you maintain status. You keep your cool. Keep yourself very, very well. So some of these teachers are going to lose their job this very semester. Yes, at the end of if you are lucky and they run you to the end of the semester, that is fine. But if you're not lucky, you are going back home. So guys, don't be scared. You see, I'm not saying this. That's why I don't say some of these negative things. I'm not saying it to scare you, but I'm only saying it to caution you. To caution you, there's a thin line between scaring you and being cautioned. But if you're wise, you pick the tails and say, look, be cautioned. All right? Be cautioned. To the best of your ability, be cautioned. Be cautioned. The job is not easy. Somebody reached out to me and said, Mr. O, EPI has just closed my account. And this person is a math teacher. And I've heard that story. I've heard stories. Madam Grace, good morning. I've heard a story recently that EPI, one of the agencies that recruit teachers, will just decide to just close your account. But you see, before they do that, they will give you the reason. But I know a lot of people don't read. A lot of people, their emails are always, their data is always off. So they will not check that one. They will not read. But the next minute, they've been blocked. Then they'll be, Mr. O, I've been blocked. Remember the law of first mention. All right? Remember the law of first mention. If you are in a particular school and you know there are other teachers who are applying to this teacher program, make sure you collaborate with them, because whatever information they put there will be a yardstick for whatever information you are going to put there. So if we are all in the same school and he said, Madam Grace, is your principal or your headmaster. And somebody also wrote another person's name, that Aram is my headmaster. How can you all be in the same Mr. O secondary school and you have two different principals? You understand? Some of those things can get you blocked or deleted, or they will say they cannot go ahead with you. So whoever has gone ahead of you, make sure you contact the person and say, hey, in this particular thing, what did you do? What did you write? How did you say it? Evangelist Louis Bani Oyedepo. I salute to madam. Is it sir? Oh yeah, Louis. Louis is a man. I salute, sir. Good morning to you, evangelist. All right. So the law of first mention, and I know those into the Bible school will tell you, wherever the thing was mentioned first becomes a yardstick for wherever it will be mentioned next. So I came to the US. So all the teachers who are supposed to come through the same agency with me must make sure they contact me in a way, because there are things that I have said or have done that will be a basis for them to be measured. If you miss that, your account will be blocked and you may not have the opportunity again. You go to the embassy, you say, oh, this school, our address is P.O. Box 54. Then, how do you call it? Aram 2 will come. This same school, our address is Box 93. So who is lying? But because they accepted the first person's truth, whether it's the truth or it's a lie, they will just take that one. And that is where you can be in a big trouble. So let us be careful with some of those things. Jade, good morning. So guys, it is very simple. Don't just look at the crown. Make sure you pay attention to the pains. Make sure you pay attention to the cryings behind the scenes. There are days you wake up, you don't want to go to school because you know your principal will be on your neck for classroom management. Your principal will be on your neck for differentiation and a lot of things. And as I keep telling you, today I'm going for another training. Almost every other day, there is a training going on. So, because they just want to give you enough information so that you keep becoming a better teacher every day. And don't forget, things are changing in America in a minute. There is an executive order being prepared for the education department to be scrapped. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you so much. There is an executive order being prepared by the government for the education department to be scrapped. And yesterday I was talking to my friend and we were, namesake, Harvey. We were talking about it and we were looking at the implications. And I believe I'll do a video on that very soon. The implications are many. If the education department of America is scrapped, there is a lot of implications, even for this program that most of us are using. Thank you so much, Ellen. I appreciate it so much. I also thank you so much for joining me every day. All right. There's a lot of implications, even for this J1 program. There's a lot of implications for it. When the department is no more, there's no federal funding for the districts. Some of these programs will be scrapped off. You know what I mean? Some of these programs will be scrapped off. Yeah. That is a reality. That is a reality. Some of these programs will be scrapped off. Because it takes the federal funding from the government for some of these programs to be sustained. Yeah. So if the federal government says, I'm not going to fund some of these school districts anymore, then what becomes of us? It will affect teacher retention. Some districts pay teacher retention premiums to retain you in the job. Okay? And some of them give bonuses for teachers to stay. There are some places in America, nobody wants to go there and teach. Sometimes, let's say Alaska. So they will have to give you incentives to go to Alaska. You know Alaska is very cold. North Dakota, South Dakota. They have to incentivize you, the teacher. So if federal funding is not coming, and this is a district that is not generating enough income by themselves, what do you think will happen? All these programs will be scrapped off. All these programs will be scrapped off. The sustainability of the J1, H1B teacher programs is also hanged on federal funding. So let us all be cautious of it. Some people, when they come and you tell them, hey, use the schooling route, they don't want to understand. I said, listen, you don't have a strong case because your subject area is not that needed. All right. And now that they are changing everything, how are you going to help yourself? So use the schooling route. Come in as a student. Yeah, come in as a student. Come in as a student. But some of them will not agree. Yeah, Mr. I don't have money to pay school fees. Well, you have to find the money. You have to find the money. I'm telling you. You have to find the money. So go and find the money. Come in as a student. That will be your best bet. Okay? Especially if your subject area is not anything to write home about. The subject area is not like it's social studies, geography, and things. No. The best bet for you is to use the schooling route. Go to the Freddie Fred's page, Danny Legends page, Peter Biwas, Nana Bafor, Choco, all these content creators doing schooling things. Go and follow them and use that access. All right? Use that access because a lot is changing by the day. We'll do a proper discussion with the defining and the scrapping of the education department and its implication and its effects. All right? Very soon, one of these days, we'll do that so that we can give a better perspective to it. Okay? So I'll leave you here. Those of you who are applying and you need help with anything, reach out to me, book a session, and let's have a conversation. If you reach out and I've not responded to your email, or I've not responded to your WhatsApp, or I've not responded to your messages on TikTok, or any of these platforms, please pardon me. Okay? Please pardon me. I'm doing my best to make sure that everybody gets responded to. But if you want a faster response, just make sure you book a session and let's have a conversation. Let's look at your situation, your peculiar situation, so that we can help deal with it. Okay? So that we can help deal with it. It's very, very important. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me and interacting with me. I appreciate your time. And let's do this again. But if you have any question, let me hear it in the comment section. I will take my time. At appropriate time, I'll read it. If I've not mentioned your name, pardon me. We'll definitely do this again. Peace and adios. I'm out.